With the United States housing crisis pushing home prices and rent into the stratosphere, leaving millions priced out because population growth is completely crushing new housing supply, you might be tempted to just pack your bags and flee. We have all seen those viral internet videos promising that you can buy a rustic Italian villa for exactly €1. But here is the brutal truth. That €1 dream house will actually drain 30,000 to 50,000 euros from your bank account for closing fees, permits, and mandatory renovations before you can even sleep in it. Hey friends, X-Money Lab here. Escaping to a cheaper European country seems like the ultimate financial cheat code to finally afford a home of your own. But is crossing the Atlantic really the magical real estate loophole everyone makes it out to be? Or are you just trading a familiar headache for an absolute financial nightmare? The hidden legal traps waiting for you over there will make your jaw drop. 1. The viral European dream. If you buy one of those heavily promoted cheap European villas and miss a single municipal deadline, the local government can seize your deposit and take the house right back. The viral internet fantasy completely leaves out a massive, incredibly stressful ticking clock. Buyers of Italy's famous discount homes are usually given a strict 3 to 4 year window to fully complete their mandatory structural renovations. If you run into overseas supply chain issues, or if you simply cannot find a local contractor who speaks English, you are completely out of luck. But maybe you do not want a fixer-upper. Maybe you want to buy a move-in ready apartment in Lisbon or Madrid, thinking it is your golden ticket to European residency. For years, wealthy expats used the Golden Visa program to essentially buy their way into a sunny, relaxed Mediterranean lifestyle. It was the ultimate real estate fast track to secure a passport and escape the North American market. Well, that door is slamming shut right in your face. These countries are facing their own massive affordability crises, and local residents are absolutely furious. In October 2023, Portugal completely eliminated the real estate investment route for its Golden Visa program. Then, in April 2024, Spain's Prime Minister stepped up and announced plans to terminate their real estate Golden Visa too. The ultimate backup plan is vanishing into thin air. And it actually gets much worse for foreign speculators. Spain is not just closing the door, they are considering locking it and throwing away the key. Lawmakers there are actively discussing a penalty tax of up to 100% on the value of properties bought by non-European Union citizens. You heard that right. You could easily end up paying double the actual purchase price just because you hold an American passport. You thought you were outsmarting the housing market by packing your bags and crossing the ocean. Instead, you are walking straight into a rigid bureaucratic fortress that is actively changing its laws to keep you out. 2. The hidden cost of cheap homes. So you finally secured that affordable European home, poured your savings into it, and unpacked your bags. But congratulations, you just invited 2 entirely different governments to legally drain your bank account at the exact same time. Unlike citizens of almost any other nation, Americans carry a very heavy, invisible anchor called citizenship-based taxation. The Internal Revenue Service taxes United States citizens on their worldwide income, meaning crossing the Atlantic Ocean does not magically erase your obligations to Uncle Sam. And here is where the trap snaps shut. If you are a digital nomad or remote worker and you spend more than 183 days in many European countries, boom, you are officially classified as a local tax resident. Suddenly, your host country wants a massive slice of your global paycheck to fund their local infrastructure, while the taxman is still holding his hand out back home. Welcome to the absolute nightmare known as double taxation. Now, you might have heard of the foreign earned income exclusion as a potential lifeline. For the year 2025, this provision actually allows American expats to exclude up to $130,000 of foreign earned income from their federal taxes. But do not celebrate just yet. To actually qualify for that exclusion, you must pass incredibly strict, unforgiving physical presence tests. Your daily travel schedule becomes completely dictated by rigid tax laws, stripping away the carefree Mediterranean lifestyle you moved there for. Worse still, this exclusion only applies to earned income like your salary. If you have passive income from stock dividends, capital gains, or rental properties back in the United States, that money is left entirely exposed. You could easily end up paying taxes on it twice. The money you thought you saved on real estate is quickly devoured by expensive international accountants, leaving you trapped in a deeply stressful, cross-border financial marathon. 3. The the golden visa backlash. So you navigated the brutal tax labyrinth, finally unpacked your bags in your Mediterranean dream home, and stepped outside for a celebratory coffee. But instead of a warm, welcoming smile from your new neighbors, you are greeted by massive spray-painted letters on the wall next door, telling expats to go home. The locals are absolutely furious, and you are sitting right in the crosshairs of their anger. Welcome to the massive socio-political backlash that the internet influencers conveniently forgot to mention in their glowing moving abroad videos. For years, Southern Europe was aggressively marketed as a cheap paradise for anyone earning a United States salary. But this massive influx of digital nomads and wealthy retirees has sparked a severe, catastrophic housing crisis for the people who actually grew up there. You have to look at the terrifying economic math that is driving this resentment. A typical local worker in these sunny coastal cities might take home around 1,500 to 2,000 euros a month. Meanwhile, an American remote worker might easily pull in $8,000 to $10,000 a month. When you walk into a real estate office and drop $500,000 on a renovated apartment because it feels like a bargain compared to California or New York, you are completely shattering the local market. Because foreigners are willing to pay completely inflated prices, landlords and developers have entirely shifted their focus away from affordable local housing. They are busy converting family apartment buildings into luxury short-term rentals or high-end co-working spaces. As a direct result, long-term rent prices in major hubs have skyrocketed to the point where local nurses, teachers, and young families have been aggressively priced out of the exact neighborhoods their families have lived in for generations. The people who make these cities run can no longer afford to live in them, and they are pointing the finger straight at you. This is not just quiet grumbling in local cafes anymore. We are talking about massive, organized street protests and fierce political pushback across the continent. Thousands of people have marched through the streets of major tourist and expat hubs, holding signs demanding an immediate end to foreign real estate speculation. Some activist groups have even taken to protesting directly outside of popular digital nomad cafes, making it crystal clear that the endless wave of foreign wealth is no longer welcome. The sunny, relaxed Mediterranean lifestyle you bought into is rapidly turning into a deeply tense, hostile cultural clash. Politicians are feeling the immense heat from their angry voting base, and they are finally taking drastic, unprecedented action to stop the bleeding. The sudden termination of Portugal's real estate investment visa in October 2023, followed closely by Spain's Prime Minister pulling the plug on their program in April 2024, were not just routine bureaucratic updates. These governments were forced to slam the emergency brakes on foreign buyers because their own citizens were facing a complete housing collapse. The Golden Visa was originally designed to rescue these economies after the 2008 financial crash, but it ended up mutating into a monster that devoured local affordability. So, before you decide to pack up your life and cross the ocean for a cheaper mortgage, you have to ask yourself a very serious question. Are you really ready to spend your life savings to move into a community that actively resents your presence? You might be escaping the North American housing crisis, but you are just buying a front-row ticket to a brand new one. 4. Should you actually make the move? Spain is right now floating the idea of slapping up to a 100% tax on the value of properties bought by non-European Union citizens. Let that massive penalty sink in for a second. If that number does not immediately make you reconsider your master plan to treat Southern Europe like a discount real estate catalogue, I honestly do not know what will. The brutal bottom line is this. Escaping a broken housing market by parachuting into a slightly cheaper one across the ocean is not a foolproof life strategy. It is often just running away. So, here is the final, definitive verdict on whether you should actually pull the trigger and make the move. The answer is a hard, unflinching no if your sole motivation is just a clever real estate hack. If you are simply looking for a cheap place to set up your laptop, you are setting yourself up for an absolute disaster. If you are not completely prepared for endless renovation nightmares, highly complex local taxes, and carrying the heavy weight of gentrification guilt, you will be deeply miserable. Remember those impossibly cheap rural homes that look so romantic online? Municipalities are not just handing over the keys so you can sit on them as a speculative investment. In many parts of Italy, buyers are facing incredibly strict municipal deadlines. You are legally required to complete full structural renovations within 3 to 4 years. If you miss that tight window, the government will literally seize your deposit and take the property right back. You are not simply buying a cheap house. You are signing up for a brutal, unpaid part-time job. You will be managing foreign contractors in a language you likely do not speak, dealing with unpredictable supply chain delays, and navigating ancient zoning laws that make a strict homeowners association back in the United States look incredibly relaxed and reasonable. But wait, there is a very clear yes in here too. Yes, you should absolutely make the move, but only if your ultimate goal is the culture, not just the cheaper cost of living. You have to genuinely want to live the true European life, rather than just trying to build a walled-off, cheap American replica that happens to have better wine. That means making a massive commitment to culturally integrating into your new neighborhood. It means spending months, if not years, actively learning the local language, so you can actually have real conversations with the grocer, the plumber, fixing your historic pipes, and your neighbors, instead of just waving a translation app in their faces. It means you are completely ready to dive headfirst into navigating highly complex legal residency rules without throwing a frustrated tantrum when things move at a much slower pace. You have to respect the delicate local ecosystem you are entering, rather than just exploiting it for a cheaper monthly mortgage. Relocating abroad can be an incredibly rewarding, deeply life-changing experience. But you have to accept that you are simply trading financial stress for bureaucratic stress. You are trading a sky-high monthly rent for the heavy, complicated responsibility of becoming an immigrant in a country that is actively trying to figure out if it even wants your money anymore. Do not pack up your entire life just because the rent is too high at home. Pack your bags because you are truly ready for a completely different way of living. Make absolutely sure you are running toward a vibrant new culture, not just running away from an expensive one. If this brutal reality check saved you $50,000 and a massive headache, hit that like button and subscribe to X Money Lab for more hard-hitting financial truths. Keep your money smart, and I will see you next time.